Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. So my channel is called Fall in Beauty, and yeah, I make a video about lifestyle, makeup, K-pop because I really like that, and also Korea because I went on an exchange this year for the spring semester. So yeah, I want to talk about my experience also on my channel. So today I want to make a video for you about something that surprised me back when I went to Korea and when I lived there for a few months. So yeah, I noticed some things that were new for me or that like surprised me, but keep in mind that all of that is from a French person, from a French student, so of course something for me can be a bit like new, but for other one no. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And so if you are ready, let's just get started. So I have in front of me a list of things, so if I look down it's because I just like read that to remind me if I say everything that like surprised me when I first arrived in Korea were the public transportation. I live in France, in not a big city, so we don't have a lot of buses, for example, or train in my city. So I was very surprised in Seoul that there are so many buses. And so when I first wanted to take it, I was so surprised because I didn't know there were so many lines of buses and also numbers, that I was like, oh no, what is the right one? So it's kind of difficult to take it if you don't have an app on your smartphone, so you need Wi-Fi also for that. But it's also really easy to take it when you have like the right app on your phone, as I said, and also when you know a bit of Korean and you know where like you want to go and how everything works. So in Seoul you have many buses, they all have different numbers. You don't need to take the same number to go to the same direction. That is to say that you have like several numbers that can go to the same place, but not like with the same like stops. And also in Seoul you have like different lines, you have different buses, so you can differentiate them by their color. In fact you have like, I think, blue one, a green one, a red one. In fact it depends where they go. For example, I don't remember specifically which color goes where, but for example the red one goes outside of the city of Seoul and goes to several other cities. And for example, I don't remember, but maybe the green one just stay in the center of Seoul, for example. So yeah, when you know how it works, it's way easier. And it's the same thing with a subway. Where I live, I don't live like near a subway station. We don't have this one in my town, so I was kind of afraid to take the subway in Seoul, but I tried it, and if it seems a bit difficult at first because there are so many lines, it's not, because you just have to know where you want to go, and then you just need to check the color of the line you need to take, and also which direction, because of course like for example like the one that is busier in Seoul and the most useful is the green one, I think, if you are in the center of Seoul, because it goes everywhere in every places that are quite important and where a lot of people go. And so yeah, you need to know like if you need to like go this way or the other way, for example. So you just need to know where you want to go and the next station, the next stop from where you are taking the subway, and so you know how to take the subway basically. Also just like take also like the app on your phone, like I think you can use Kakao subway or metro. It's the most useful one because you know when the next subway is coming, the next train is coming, and you know where you need to go or many stops you need to take, etc. So this app is very useful. So yeah, that was that for the subway. And also some other thing about like the public transportation that surprised me is when it's very hot in summer, you have the air conditioning in the subway and in the buses, or maybe not every buses, but you have them for majority of case. So yeah, and it's very comfortable to take the public transportation. It's not like in France when it's very hot, you don't want to take them because it's too hot inside, but not in Seoul, it's not the case. So that's a good point. And also I would say the subway is pretty clean also compared to the one in France. It's a good point. Next, also, since I come from a small city, even where I study, like the shops are not like that, but in Seoul, something very surprising to me that I had to get used to, that is that a lot of shops are open every day and also very late at night. I don't mean like the convenience store, I'm going to talk about that later in the video. Like for example the clothes stores or the bookstore, everything other than the convenience store are open very late at night, like maybe 10 or 11 at night. And also they are open every day, including the Sundays. So for me it was very surprising. For example, one time my friend asked me to go out with her, like to go shopping on a Sunday, and I was like, but everything would be closed, no? And she was like, no, in Seoul everything is open. So yeah, it's something that I had to get used to, because in France everything is closed on Sundays, and also they close very early, like maybe at 6 p.m. So yeah, like for example seeing like for the clothes stuff closing at like maybe 10 or 11 was for me a big surprise. But it was kind of cool to do some shopping at night. I recommend this experience in Seoul. Also, I was surprised, even if I watch K-dramas and I know the Korean culture, I didn't know that the food in restaurants were so cheap. Of course, I mean more like Korean food than, for example, I don't know, Italian food or foreigner food. But Korean food is so cheap. I could go to a restaurant for lunch and for dinner, and I could pay for reference maybe for the two things 8 euros. So it's pretty cheap. I don't know if those meals were very healthy for most of the time, but it was good, and for the price it was very cheap and good quality. So yeah, in France you can have like, or maybe at the fast foods, you cannot have like a meal for 8 euros. Like if you go to a more like normal, even fancy restaurant in France, your meal would be like maybe 15 euros for one meal. So yeah, I was very surprised by that, but it was a good surprise. So I know now why so many students and like people in Korea in general go out to eat. And also speaking of prices, the clothes were also quite cheap. If you went to for example Ewha University, where there is like a big street of shopping, or maybe even in Sinchon, where near Yonsei University where I studied, some clothes and some stores were very cheap. I could maybe like for example buy a dress for 8 euros, and in France it's not under 25, so it was very cheap. Of course, maybe some clothes were not like in such a good quality, but it was still good to wear a few times. And since it's also some stuff that you can just buy and you don't know like for the style, or you just want to try them, it's kind of cool. Also, I was surprised, speaking of clothes, that you cannot try some in the stores, and it's because, and I understand why after that, after one experience. It's because a lot of girls in Korea, or maybe most of them, wear makeup every day and a full face of makeup, so I mean foundation, eyeshadow, lipstick, lip tint. So they don't let you try on like the tops, or especially the white stuff. And if they do let you try them the thing, you need to put on your head a small bag in tissue, like something soft, so you put the bag on your hand and then you can try the clothes. And so that's why something that I was not used to, so I was very surprised by the first time they tell me no, you cannot try tops. So now I understand why. And also when you buy clothes, if it's not like the last one in the store, they will give you another one, that's the one you tried, a completely new one. So yeah, they give you stuff like packed, and so you have basically a new one. And it's not something that we do in France. When you go to a clothes store, they give you the clothes that you tried on. So yeah, I was very surprised by that, but I think it's a good thing because you never know which one in France like tried stuff on, and I think it's cleaner than in France, so it's better. And also for white stuff, I completely understand, because like how many times in France I saw white stuff with like foundation on or things like that. So yeah, that's very good and I really liked that. Also something that I really liked and that I really missed now that I'm back in France, it's a cute coffee shop. Of course, watching many K-dramas as I do, I saw the coffee shop in the film or etc, but I never imagined that there would be everywhere in Seoul, in every street, and that they are so well thought. Because a lot of time the coffee shop are like going after a concept. So for example, I don't know, a small forest or more fancy one, or I don't know, like it's a whole concept each time. And also they do a lot of coffee and like also like cakes or things like that, things sweet or salty to go with your coffee. And so it was so great, really. It was the best thing of Seoul, I think, and it's the thing that I recommend you to do when you are in Seoul. It's go to a lot of coffee shops. And they are so good, like their coffee and their cakes were so good and I eat them like crazy, and I think that's why I took a bit of weight. But yeah, it was very amazing. It was more expensive than the real food, that the real meal or dish that you can have, and it's like maybe like 2 or 3 times more expensive than the sweet things. But it's a good experience to have, and yeah, it's a good thing. But I know that the prices are high because in Seoul you pay more for, not for the things that you get, but more for the experience, so the time that you spend in a coffee shop. Because a lot of people after eating, because you cannot have like something sweet in the restaurant in Seoul, goes to a coffee shop and they just like spend maybe like a few hours there, just sitting and sipping their coffee and eating their cakes and just chatting with their friend, family or thing like that. Or even for studying, a lot of students go to coffee shop to study in Korea, and it's not something so ordinary in France. So yeah, that's why they do that, and that's why they charge you more. It's more because of the time that you spend in the coffee shop than the things that you get. And also, just one last point about the coffee shop, they are open at night. So I mean until like maybe I saw some until 11 or midnight, or even there are a coffee shop open 24 hours and 7 days a week. It's not something that you can see in France, and I do really miss the coffee shop in Seoul. They were so amazing. Also, speaking of coffee, last thing, in Korea they drink a lot of iced coffee, and it's not something that you find in France and that I really miss, because I really like coffee, but I prefer them cold. And so you have a large variety of coffee, like latte. It's a common thing in all the coffee, vanilla latte, and iced americano also a lot. And then you have like more special one and not so common one. So yeah, I really like going to the coffee shop and trying like those different coffee each time. Also, something not as special, but it was still kind of surprising for me. It's that my campus, so the Yangtze campus, was so big. Like I didn't imagine that before going. I know that you can have that in America and maybe in France as a university in France, in the public ones, but since I don't go to one in France, I was kind of surprised by how big it was. Like you have several buildings for each specialties. For example, I don't know, engineering, language, business for me. So yeah, it was something that I was not used to, and especially I think the Yangtze campus has 2 or 3 campus in Seoul or like in other cities, so you even have like buses between them, and in the campus you also have buses to take you to one point to another point, and also going to the dorm around the campus. So yeah, it was something very surprising for me, and yeah, and it's something also that I really appreciate, because it's something completely different from my school. And also like the campus was so green. There were so many trees and flowers. It was so beautiful at like the spring and beginning of summer when I was there. Oh, it was so beautiful, so green, so vivid. Oh my goodness, it was so pretty. And also there were like a lot of cherry blossoms, so it was perfect during the season. Oh my goodness, it was a good experience. So yeah, and also another point that surprised me about the campus was that it was open every day and for everyone. So the gates were open, so everyone can enter. For example, my parents were visiting me one time, so I can like took them and just show them the campus around and just walking. I saw a lot of people going through the Yangtze campus to go hiking or like just to meet someone, or I don't know. I saw a lot of people, and on weekends I saw also a lot of couples and also children just playing around. And so yeah, the campus was very beautiful and was very crowded during the weekend, like beginning of the summer season when I was still there. And also like in the campus you have several restaurants for the students that were very cheap. And something that also surprised me, that it was people can go also and eat there. So for example, I don't know if my parents came and wanted to eat there, they could, because it was open. And also they were like also small street, if I can say that, under the campus, where there were a Starbucks, a Paris Baguette. It's a store, not a store, like a restaurant selling sandwiches and things like that in Korea. That was there, a bookstore, 2 other coffee shop under that. And so I took my parents once in the Paris Baguette, just under the campus, and it was fine because it was open for everyone. So yeah, it was very surprising, but I really liked that. Something that I was also surprised, and that I don't I was kind of prepared for that, but it wasn't something that I was prepared for that. It's that maybe a lot of people were shy or didn't speak a lot of English. I know that since I was in Korea I had to speak Korean, but sometimes, you know, like since you are not used to Korean, in Korean, sometimes it's easier for us to speak English. It was something that I was kind of surprised, because even in the center of Seoul, in some shops, or like the students didn't speak a lot of English. So that was fine, but it's just something to keep in mind. So it's better to speak a bit of Korean before going and not just rely on English. That's a point to keep in mind if you are an exchange student going to Seoul. Also something that I never saw in France, even in Paris or where I study, It's a convenience store open every day and all night. So it's open from Monday to Sunday and all day long. Yeah, it's not something that we have in France, or even like shops that open in big cities are not open all night. And so it was something surprising for me, because even like at my dorm there were one convenience store, and it was very useful and very practical, and I really liked that. Because for example, if you want, I don't know, a snack at midnight, you can go to the store and it's still open, and they have a lot of things. They sell, like for example, beverage, food, snacks, fruits or meal, ramen also, that is a common thing in Korea. So yeah, it was very useful, very cheap and very practical. So yeah, that's something that I would love to have in my campus in France. Then next thing that I can think about is something that I didn't expect. It was something small, but still, it was that there were a lot of sale in the stores. And I mean, like maybe like every week there were sale, especially in the cosmetic shop. They did like a promotion. If you buy, like for example, one product, you can get one free, like maybe in the same one, and or another one. If for example it's lipstick, you can have like one, you buy one shade and you have another shade free. So yeah, that was something very useful and very cheap. And also, like, their skincare and their makeup are so cheap, so it wasn't a good thing. If you like Korean culture like me, you will buy a lot of stuff, so be prepared for that. Bring a big suitcase and a lot of cash. Also for clothes, if you are like in the street of shopping, like for example Hongdae or Myeongdong, maybe on the street vendor, you can also negotiate a bit, bargain a bit. Like especially if you have cash, you can say, oh, but I bought like, I don't know, 4 stuff. Maybe you can just like lower the price. They will be more prone to give you like this discount if you spoke a bit of Korean, so keep that in mind. And bring also a lot of cash, because if you pay by card, a lot of times they will charge you a bit. So yeah, that's it for all the stuff that I can think about that surprised me when I was in Korea. Maybe I will find other stuff, but for now it's all that I can remember about, like thinking about, oh, this is surprising for me, or I'm not used to that. Please comment down below if you have already visited Korea, and if you also find some stuff interesting for you or new for you, and yeah, we can chat about that in the comments. And also leave me down below in the comments which kind of video you want me to do, or if I also make any mistakes speaking in English, since it's not my mother tongue, and if my accent is not too good, that's why. And if it's not already done, please also, if you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up. It would be very useful for me. And also, if it's not already done, please subscribe just down below by hitting the red button just down there, so you can see me more often and know when I post my new videos. Don't hesitate to tell me which kind of video you want me to do in the future, and otherwise I will see you in my next video. Bye!